Hello, Silly Moustache here. I'm going to talk about 12 strings again. Somebody wrote an email to me asking me what songs, style of music were 12 strings best suited to, or what music was suited to 12 strings, or something like that. Now, I confess I've lost that email in my enormous disorganized file of emails, so I can't credit that person directly. So if you are that person, please make yourself known in the comments so I can credit you. But it gives me an idea for this. And what it made me think was not only what songs do I sing, which I'll come to in a moment, but also the origins of the 12 string, which are shrouded in mystery basically. And there's two theories. One is that they were first made by Italian immigrant luthiers used to making multiple course guitars, like instruments like mandolins. In fact, I found a reference to an advert for a Grunwald guitar. Grunwald is not terribly Italian, is it? But it looked very much like a standard small-bodied 12-string guitar. They called it a harp guitar, which is quite interesting because we have another idea of strangely shaped guitars with bass drone strings and things like that. But this was a straight 12-string guitar, and that was dated 1904. They've been around for a while. The other theory is that they came from Mexico and other parts of South America, and I think that's probably more likely because they still have instruments like the guitarra septima, the hapanguero, and the bajo sexto. And that brings me to a name that I bumped into before, Lydia Mendoza, who's a Texan lady born in 1916 who played conjunto and tejano music and always used a 12-string guitar, probably of Mexican origins. It's early morning, sorry about this. Maybe she inspired people like the Blind Willies, Johnson and McTell, and Leadbelly, of course, to play 12-string. I don't know. But one thing they do have in common, of course, is that having 12 strings on them rather than 6, they might be a bit louder if you're playing in the street or in a noisy joint or something like that. Other names that I would like to draw your attention to, two names that I've discovered through my recent researches, is Fred Gerlach, Gerlach, and Mike Russo. Again from the 60s, and that was probably when the great folk scare of the 50s and 60s came about, and a lot of the blues music of between the wars was rediscovered by a younger generation and played. And of course we had people like the Rooftop Singers who played Gibson 12 strings, I believe, and Pete Seeger, and many others, possibly including those names that I've just mentioned. Now, they're the big names for 12-string guitars back in the day, in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, probably were Oscar Schmidt, Stella, and of course Harmony. Harmony went down in 1974, I believe, but they left us with many, many, many fine guitars, and this is just one of them. Gibson got in on the act in 1961, Martin in 1964, making the series the D12, 20 and 35, which looked remarkably like this. More about that later. But always the one for the common working man was the Harmony. In Europe, there was the Echo Ranger 12. It sold thousands more than Gibsons and Martins put together. It was very solidly built in Italy, and I can remember throughout my youth seeing Echo Ranger 12 strings all over the place, and I think they're still being made today. So after the great folk scare of the 50s, early 60s, we got into the West Coast folk thing, and possibly the person that made me think about playing 12-string guitar was Tim Buckley and his mournful stuff. That sort of style, and I got through quite a lot of Yamaha 12 strings in the late 70s, early 70s, and of course 70s, come the 70s, there was the folk rock thing. We've got to think about Roger McGuinn in the Byrds, and the Eagles used them to great effect from time to time. So I don't think there's any one genre that is appropriate to the 12 string. And I don't think that the 12 string is limited to any one genre. The obvious genre to think about, of course, is the blues. And I can remember dark Saturday nights with What Is Red Barrel going. That sort of thing, with somebody playing harmonica and the 12 string always slightly out of tune. They always are. And there was lots of other stuff that I played. Going back to the Tim Buckley stuff, I have found a use for them. I looked through my YouTube videos and I found 5 videos where I was playing what I would call a blues. 9 were songs that I would call hokum, basically happy blues, and 9 more that were, well, other. I have on occasions played a John Phillips song, which is a sort of cowboy song. My uncle went rolling down West Colorado, Texas town. We stopped on Santa Fe, that being the point, about halfway. Besides, was the hottest part of the day. An idea I got from Dino Valenti a long, long time ago. There are lots of different points of view about the 12 string. I just watched one video where someone said it's the perfect guitar playing finger style. Leo Kottke's made that very famous, of course, but you do get that harp approach. That you can get from that. I'm not a finger stylist, so I can play this. Wikipedia says of 12-string guitars that because of the number of strings, they're more difficult to play than 6 strings. I contest that. I don't think that's true. In fact, when I pick up my 12 string, which I do for maybe between 5 and 10% of my repertoire, it gives me a rest from the 6 string. You can do a lot more with less. It's still going. There's that chorus effect, there's that orchestral effect, there's that piano effect, and the bass lines are more assertive, as I've done before. The blues can ring. Yeah, there's lots of things you can do with them. So I wouldn't want to say that they're limited to any sort of genre at all. So if you have a 12 string, or if you fancy getting one, then try all sorts of genre. Try changing some of your 6 string numbers to 12 string numbers. Experiment, play like Leo Kottke, play like Lead Belly. Why not play like yourself? So there we are. That's my short potted view of 12 string guitars and their genre. Whatever it is, there's a lot more to a 12 string guitar than just the intro to I Wish You Were There by Pink Floyd. Or was it I Wish You Were Here? Well, if you have been, thanks for watching. Bye.